What's up, traders? 2021's in the bag and we're on to 2022. But with that, we always love to do recaps and look back on the year prior. And first, I need to get some housework out of the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I always appreciate that support. And I just wanted to show you guys one quick thing. Absolutely ridiculous. This is how you guys treat me. 85.8% of you that watch the videos are not subscribed. And a lot of the actual overall time of people watching, which is the number next to that, 93.3% of people who watch me are not subscribed. Come on, guys, it's free. It's literally just a red button. You click it once and you're done with it. I know I put a video out every day, but that's what transparent people do. They actually put videos out to show you exactly what they did every single day. With that housework out of the way, let's get into the recap. Here's my year-to-date chart. This is what we ended up. Back here, we were looking to make that $30 a day. That's it, $30 a day. This was a foundational year, and it took us a little while to get going. But once we started to get going, you can see we started to scale up. We did take a couple max losses throughout the year, but nothing too crazy. You can see when we did take a max loss, it wasn't that big of a deal. And this chart on TraderSync was so detrimental to my success this year, because when I was taking these bigger losses, or what seemed like bigger losses, inputting them into the journal and then taking a look at this chart, it just made me realize it's just lost time. It's just a speed bump. And that was such a big part in being able to continue trucking. Because as you can see, we took some decent losses throughout the way, but not one of them, was like back in the past where it would literally be a straight line down almost all the way back to where we started, just giving back months of work. Instead, it was, a week, a couple weeks. It was just lost time. And as you can see, we started to build some confidence. And then towards the end of the year, right here around September, after we took this loss, we really started to scale up. You can see it was kind of steady scaling here, or steady, just a steady line, almost like a little trend line. And then you can start to see it kind of ramp up here. And we just really started to gain some confidence, even though the market was just absolutely slow in the ending part of this year. We still seem to find some pretty good trades. And I was beaten. If you guys watch me pretty regularly, you'll know that this past Thursday, which was the 30th, we took a decent little loss here. And it was the only trade we had that day. It was really just kind of eating me up inside. Again, loaded it up into the chart. And I mean, you can almost not even see that thing. It's like you have to actually look for it. So it was very motivational this year in a whole. And I just, keeping track of everything and being able to see everything on paper, it really does help. Let's go over to the win percentage. 84.69% ended up being our winning percentage. Obviously, the losing percentage is the opposite of that. It comes out to 14.45. Big number here, 2.1 profit factor. I worked really hard to not necessarily let this affect me too much, but seeing this number kind of rise after a loss, because taking a decent loss, it's going to lower this number. And I would get close to 2. I would go back down to like 1.7, get close to 2. I remember the one time I got exactly to 2, and then that next day I took a decent sized loss and it brought it back to like 1.83. But that last little run going into the end of the year, really started to kind of focus on entries, not getting greedy, not looking for too much. And, it still happens. I'm still honing on my strategy, trying to really get it packed in there into my brain. Like, okay, how many times am I going to let, these mistakes happen before I stop doing them? And, over time, you start to see it. I mean, even SPCB, this, $72 loss should have been like a $25, $30 loss. But I kind of let my emotions get to me, didn't want to accept the loss. And I ended up losing more than double what I should have lost, which could have maybe brought my profit factor up even a little bit more. One more thing I wanted to show you, which is kind of easy, is the calendar. I like to kind of just see how many red days I had throughout the day or throughout the year. And we can count through those real quick. We'll count from the bottom up since this was January. So we had 2 in January, 3 in February, that's 5, 2 in March, that's 7, 1 in April, that's 8, 1 in May, that's 9, 4 in June, that's 13, 3 in July, that's 16, 17, 18 in August, 19, 20, 21 in September, only 1 in October for 22, 1 in November for 23, 24, and 25 in December. So 25 total red days. And as you can see, they were all fairly small, minus, the bigger loss days. $3. This obviously the recent day $72. The big one here $3.30. But then you have a lot of them that are like 11, $3, $18. This one was a bigger one, 207. 242 was a big one. Then 22, 4, 34, 21, 20, 38. This one was a decent one, 90. This one was a decent one, 50. 174 is a decent one. Then we got 7, 3. Decent one here. This was a max loss, 324, 41, 35, 7, 47, 49, basically 50, 49, 99. As you can see, it was back in the day when I was taking losses, they were just max losses like all the time. I'm learning even more so how to lose. And I say that all the time. What's going to define you as a trader is how you lose. Winning is easy. How you lose is what's going to define you as a trader. I always talk about risk management and consistency, and I'm starting to feel the consistency. And now you're starting to see, because of the consistency, the risk management come into play, where we're not just losing big every time we lose. And that used to be a pretty big fault of mine. One more thing I wanted to show you. I'll go to the overview here. This was a huge year for multiple reasons. I mean, obviously, it was a big year as far as profitability. As far as the overall account, this is what it looks like. From the beginning of my trading days, I like to just throw this in here. I know it's not necessarily this year, but it'll show you the impact that this year had for me. Just going from red to green, pretty much you can see at the beginning of the year, which is right here, we were at our low point of our entire trading career. Just 2020 was not a good year for us. Just trying everything, trying to fiddle, tinkering with everything. And then finally, just kind of woke up beginning of this year and said, F it, we're going to go for it. And just kind of took everything we've learned over the last 2.5 years and just started applying it. And as you can see, it was a pretty big year, not only to go from red to green, but then to break through our all-time highs on, the overall account, and then just keep blowing by it. And there's obviously something to be said here. It just goes to show you that it takes years. It takes years. Everyone doesn't like to admit to it. Everyone thinks they can do it in the first couple of weeks, first couple of months, within the first year. But I'm going to tell you, if you do become successful within the first couple of weeks, first couple of months, it's probably a string of luck. I'm not going to lie. You really got to hone down on your strategy, and you got to know the ins and outs, and you're just not going to know those things until you've went through it all. And until you start taking some big losses, and until you start realizing what kind of risk you're putting on in certain situations, you're not going to understand that until you get there. So it's taken years, and I'm really hoping that this was a foundation year for us. I know it wasn't a lot of money. It was only $4,000 in the grand scheme of things. If we go back and put in the amount, I can tell you the exact amount. I didn't even look at it, to be honest. But it was a confidence year. It was our first profitable year of trading, $4,200. So I'm going to be using the 2.5% rule. That's how much I'm going to be risking as my max loss every single day of my account. And if we use that, this is how much I made this year on the account. 56.31% of my account is how much I made overall. So that was actually, because what I did is I went back to what my max loss was when I first started, and I was using $30 as my goal, and I was using 6x that for my max loss. So I took that and then figured out what 2.5% of my account would be, and that was it was like $7,200. So if I were using that amount, which is essentially what I was doing, then this is how much I would have made. Because $7,200, you make $4,257. Obviously, that's more than half, so it's obviously right. So, but I don't really know what else I wanted to talk about I don't really have anything else to show you. I can slowly scroll through all of these stats, and if there's any questions, comments, concerns, I've been transparent since day one, and I have no reason to stop, and I don't plan to stop, but I don't really know what else to show you guys that you might want to see. I look forward to this upcoming year. We're really going to push. I think we're going to start aiming for some bigger numbers. I think it's finally what people who have been, urging me for the last 2 years to step up my game a little bit. And, some people aren't the same as others. Some people like risking a lot. I'm a very risk adverse person, and I always have been that way. And it's just how I probably always will be, which is, why I'm never going to be risking more than 2.5% of my account on any given day. And I have one shot at making all this work. And right now it's starting to look like it could work. That confidence is building. Now it's just a matter of pushing myself outside my boundaries a little bit, scaling up. And how I am going to do that as I am making money is I'm going to have set points. So like right now I'm at 32 grand in the account. When we get to 40 grand, I'm going to take 2.5% of that and move up. And then when I get to 50 grand, I'm going to take 2.5% of that and move up. And then it'll probably be 75 grand and then 2.5% of that and move up. So that's how my scaling is going to happen. And then hopefully 100K when we get there. And I really hope we get there this year. That's kind of my goal. But we'll see. I'm not, going to be pushing too hard or too little. I'm just going to keep trading the way that I have with the new numbers, and I'm going to let it kind of take care of itself. I'm not going to try to wake up one day and be more aggressive than the day before. And I'm not going to wake up, one day and try to be less aggressive than the day before. I'm just going to try to be consistent. I'm going to keep my risk management in check. I've preached it since I've learned it myself. Risk management and consistency are the two keys to becoming a profitable day trader. Over the past 3 years, you've seen me become consistent, and you've seen me continue with risk management, which is what's kept me around. If I didn't have risk management in 2020, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I wouldn't have any money to be trading because I would have probably just went off the deep end, just trying everything and just wasting money. But since I kept my risk management in check while I was going through that hardship, I'm still here. And this is what has become. So there's no need to blow up an account. If you have proper risk management, there is no need to blow up an account. It's just, you would have to, how many times do you have to lose 2.5% in order to blow up an account? It's a lot, right? So that's all I got. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I do appreciate the support. It's free. It helps the channel. It lets me know that you care. Maybe we can get the numbers up, do some actual giveaways, get some actual viewership going on in here. We got the Discord, we got the Twitter. Join those. I'm live on Twitch every single trading day. Come over there, follow me there, subscribe if you want to support the channel. You can hit the join button on the YouTube channel. That also helps support the channel. It's probably a little bit easier and more beneficial, I guess, over on Twitch just because of how everything works monetary wise. But again, I hope everybody had a good 2021. I look forward to sticking around as long as possible with the guys that are in the Discord now. We have a great group of guys in there. Chat every single day. It's amazing. Great group of guys in ISW. That's another thing I guess I can add here right before I sign off is surround yourself with the right people. Being around positive people that understand what you're going through, understand that there's going to be hard times if that's what you're going through. We've all been there. I've been there, and I showed you the chart. It can get bad, and that's just how it's going to be sometimes. But all right, 2022, here we go. If I have one goal, I don't want to put a number out there, but my one goal is to finish with 2.0 profit factor again. If we can finish with 2.0 profit factor or above, then that means we're still pacing, and it's going to be pretty hard not to keep hitting those goals, which will naturally scale me. And that's it. That's going to be my goal. And I will look forward to seeing you all. Peace.